Your lesson essential question is, how do I use character responses to events and challenges to determine the central message of a story? So, today you'll be determining the central message. And as you remember, central message means moral or the lesson of the story. You're going to be doing that by paying attention to the characters' responses to the events and challenges. Last week I helped you a lot with central message. This week you're going to be figuring out the central message of a few stories on your own. So today I'm going to read a story with you, and then you're going to be looking at the characters' thoughts, words, feelings, and actions to figure out the central message by yourself. So you remember from last week that characters respond to events and challenges throughout stories, and they often learn a lesson. We call this lesson a moral or central message. So all three of those words are going to be used, but they all mean the same thing. We think about what happens at the beginning, the middle, and the end of a story. So we're looking at maybe the problem. We look at how the characters respond to the problem. We look at the solution to the problem. We look at the characters' thoughts, words, feelings, and actions in response to the events. So the first thing we'll do is we'll look at the character's problem. Then we'll identify how the character responds. We'll look at how the problem is solved. And then that's when we'll be able to identify that central message. So we're going to read this story called The Blue Coyote. Long ago there lived a hungry coyote. One day he found a juicy bone. He grabbed it and ran away. So what's happened so far in the beginning of the story? Tell somebody in the room what's happening so far. Okay, the coyote grabbed a big juicy bone and ran away. I see at the beginning of the story that he's hungry. So he responded to being hungry by grabbing that juicy bone. When he jumped over a fence, he landed in a big tub filled with blue ink. Now his fur was bright blue. So the next thing that happens is the coyote runs away. He jumps over the fence and lands in blue ink, and his fur turns bright blue. So let's see if the coyote kind of runs into a problem. The coyote went to the forest. The animals had never seen such a strange blue creature. They were scared and ran away. Tell somebody in the room what the blue coyote's problem is. Yeah, the other animals were afraid of him. The sneaky coyote thought of a plan to make the animals give him all the food he wanted. So now he's responding to his problem through his thoughts. He told the animals he was their new king. They believed him. They also brought him all the food he wanted. So first he responds through his thoughts. He thinks of a plan and then he acts on his plan. So he responds through his actions. What does he do? He tells the other animals he was their king. Then they bring him all the food he wants. So now they're kind of catering to him. One night he heard coyotes howling at the moon. He could not stop himself. He started howling too. So he hears those coyotes howling. How does he respond? Yeah, he can't help himself. He starts to howl too. When the other animals heard him, they knew he was really just another coyote. They were angry at being tricked. They chased the blue coyote right out of the woods. So, what happens at the end of this story? Yeah, the other animals hear him howling. They find out he's just another coyote, so they're not very happy he tricked them. They chase him out of the woods. So I'm sure that this coyote is not very happy that he decided to pull this prank and lie to the animals, right? Well, now it's your turn to identify the central message or the lesson or the moral on your own. So you're going to be doing that by answering a discussion question today. So think about the actions of the coyote. Think about what happened at the end of the story, and then you'll be able to figure out what he may have learned from tricking the other animals.